Welcome to Gazbot in Japan. This is day 6. Why am I holding up 5 fingers? Well, it seems like I need just one more, and there it is. Haha, cleverly done. I'm starting my day as I did many days with one of these peanut butter sandwiches. What's great is they have no crust, lots of protein, and no meat. For me, the vegetarian in Japan. This is the view outside of our window. This is the front of our hotel, which is Universal Port Hotel, and it was done to be kind of like a movie set. And here you can see I'm farting a big crater. There was an interesting guide for using toilets. And then here is the line to get into Universal Studios, which of course is why we're there.
We're gonna be wizards. We're gonna be wizards. Or witches.
That's right, we started with the Universal Studios Harry Potter World, which was in Japanese, except for a few signs. And it was amazing. I imagine it's the same as it would be in America. We did not go here for this, although we had never been in America, and it was very immersive. It was one of the most fun parts of the park. The buildings and the stores, all these storefronts have actual, well, not all, but many of them have actual stores in them from the movie, some of which have straight up souvenirs, others have the types of things you could have bought in the movie, and you could see, like, it was a whole little town as far as the eye could see, and there, when you first come in, there's the archway, and there's the train, like as though it would come through the wall, like in the movie, and there was fake snow. It was a little weird because it was kind of warmish, and there was snow. And this was the post office. They had these animatronic owls and packages all over. This was the book, the Beast book. I forgot what it was called. You know what I mean. And then like the posters, the Sirius Black. It was super immersive. I can't stress that enough. And the people that worked in the shops, you know, were in character and in costume. They even had some English actors, some white people with English accents, which is because of that. And in addition to just entering this whole little town area, which was super, super fun, they had a few, for lack of a term, rides. The main ride was the one in the castle, but then they had, I guess, events, or whatever you want to call it, shows. Here's the main castle queue standing outside of Hogwarts, and that's like, I can't say it's actual size of what it would be in the movie, but it's big. It's not like that was a little thing behind her. It's huge. We went in it. This was Ollivander's wand shop. What I was saying is there was like a little show where you go in and they do a bunch of magic and stuff flies around, and then you come out and it's the wand shop, and you can see there's Voldemort, but they had all the major characters and others, and you could actually buy the replica wands after the show. Here's some butterbeer, which I had, which was delicious. I had bought some butterbeer at a specialty soda shop, and it was kind of disappointing, but that fresh butterbeer tasted great. It was sort of like a cross between butterscotch and cream soda with something else thrown in that I'd drink that every day if it was available. But like I said, when I bought it bottled, it wasn't as good. But yeah, all the shops had fun little animatronic things. They were all top to bottom, front to back. It wasn't like you turned a corner and you saw some security guards sipping coffee. It was like a 360-degree thing that if you took a little kid and just plopped them there, they would think, oh my gosh, I'm in Harry Potter. Now this is in the castle, and you can see there's Dumbledore. And yes, the hologram of Dumbledore was speaking Japanese, just like the Sorting Hat here. There was another scene with Ron and Hermione and those guys, and they're all speaking Japanese as well, but it's the actual actors, and it looked like it was filmed special for the ride, which I imagine it was. Here's some more. This was the inside of Ollivander's wand shop. Before the show. I'm not sure how much of this stuff I was allowed to take pictures of when I was inside places. There's Zonko's joke shop, and they had the puking pustules person in front. So again, very accurate to the movie, very immersive, very fun. I recommend it. Probably better if you're not in Japan, but since we were there anyway, we went. And here was a random parade of some sort. Now, why, when going to Japan, would we spend time going to Universal, which we have in America? Well, this was one of the big reasons. This is Attack on Titan, known in America. In Japan, it's called Shingeki no Kyojin, and that's one of the main characters. There are these giant monsters that are destroying like regular people in towns and eating them, and it's craziness. It's based on a manga, but I've only actually watched the anime. And as you can see, they have these huge quote-unquote life-size statues, if they were real. Here's a better shot of scale. And we just took a million pictures of these. They were really fun. Even though they're just statues, I don't know, it was just fun to take pictures and try to make them look real. And this, and there was also an Evangelion event and a few other things that are exclusive to Japan, which is why we decided to go ahead and go. And like I said, we went to Harry Potter because we were there. But it was a lot of fun just playing with these statues. Honestly, we were there all day, and we didn't go on very many rides. Partially because we did stuff like this, where we just had little photo shoots of things like statues. And this was another theme area. It wasn't as heavy themed as Harry Potter. It wasn't that immersive. But all the little stands were based on Attack on Titan. Like this girl is wearing a suit that they would wear, and that's the little insignia. And they were selling these Titan heads that I bought, and it has like a little sword, and you're supposed to use the sword to kill the Titan and eat it. I'm like, that's awesome. But then I realized it was just filled with this gross custard, and I was less impressed. They had face painting of the Titan monsters, which I thought was awesome. This was called The Real, and this was inside. They had some props, and this was like sort of the ride event area that we got tickets for, and they started showing us like this video, and then we go in, and there's these kind of not so great mannequins, and then at the end some better mannequins that you could take pictures with. But in between those two, you walk and you watch clips of the show, and you get to the end and take pictures of these mannequins. That's it. That is The Real. I say skip it. It was weird. It took a while. We had like a fast pass, but it still took a while. So yeah, that part was a bit of a waste.
It looks like the guy from Yatterman.
This is online to take a picture, and what was cool for an Attack on Titan thing, what's cool is above us there was one of the big roller coasters, which we didn't go on, but it kept going over us with different colored lights and stuff, and it doesn't actually really capture it real well how cool it was. It was sort of like a spaceship flying over us every couple of minutes, which was neat, and a good distraction from waiting in line. And this is what we were waiting for. This was outside. We didn't have to go on the Real experience, and you can see we have two different photos here. Now the reason, and this is, you can see from further away earlier in the day, and again, they're dressed in costume, and we took more pictures of the statue. They took a picture of us with our own camera, and then they took a picture with their camera, and you could get the printout if you wanted, which we did, but you didn't have to, which was kind of cool. And here's me licking a butt. And this is Space Fantasy. This was taken earlier in the day. This was a weird ride that my friend Brian Lynch had recommended I go on. Which we didn't go on right then. This was Monster Hunter, which was another one we could have got a ticket for, and knowing what I know now, I would have got a ticket for that instead of the Attack on Titan. And so we ate at Mel's Diner, which was overpriced American food, just like in America, if you went to Universal Studios. We also used it as a chance to sit down for a while and let our feet rest. That was a cool Japanese-American graffiti sign, pointing to the San Francisco Bay, which we somehow got home, which was just a weird little area they had inside Universal. And we kind of walked around this back area. We didn't go on Spider-Man, although we had been on it before in America. And this was sort of towards the end of the day. We were just sort of seeing what else we missed. And it was just like a neat little backlot area and a lot of weird stores. And here's some kind of personalized Coca-Cola, which if we had another day or more time, we might have explored a little bit more. But we basically had certain things we had to go to. This was the main souvenir shop, which we spent time in. We didn't actually buy much here, but it had all the Attack on Titan and Evangelion. You can see they have tea, and these were these weird little rubber band guys. And I think we both expected to spend more money than we did. But I don't know, the souvenirs, again, like I've said in other videos, it's almost like you can get better stuff back home than you could there of the properties, which is odd, or at least different stuff, This was a 3D printing station after we went on Evangelion. This is some random girl who got herself put in that sort of costume, which I toyed with doing, but it was very expensive. And these are some cool Evangelion drinks. There's like an angel, which is one of the monsters. It's like a hot chocolate. And the monsters, you'd have to stab like kind of the heart of it. And so it's like a cherry. And you have the fork, which is one of the weapons. And it's all very themed and all very kitschy and all very sugary good consumerism. And I loved it. Took a break, left the park. On the way out, there was this Shonen Jump store, which is the company that owns Naruto and not Monkey Punch, One Piece and all that kind of stuff. Took a bunch of pictures. I think maybe bought one or two little things here, but mainly just took pictures. And this was sort of in the City Walk promenade area, so we didn't like go home or anything. We just sort of went out here for a while to take a break from the park. And then eventually went back in. But they had some cool art and stuff, and they also had some, there you can see I'm being Kakashi from Naruto, and they also had a nice setup. They had a lot of Dragon Ball stuff from Akira Toriyama. And here's the setup. You can see that's One Piece and Naruto on a boat, and so we were taking pictures with them because we are tourists and otaku. And then this is us going back in. Here's the face painting thing. You can see they also had Evangelion and a couple other things besides just the Attack on Titan monster. And we were getting ready to go on Evangelion.
It is day 6, I believe. I'm in Universal Japan in Osaka. We have been here for hours. Our feet are dead. Our feet are dead every day. I think the people that work here wave to me because I'm American, or white at least. I don't see them waving to other people. And they're friendly about it. And I wave back and they seem to be very pleased, like I'm doing a trick. And I like doing tricks, especially if you give me a treat. Meanwhile, we just got done doing Biohazard, which is Resident Evil in America. And it was a ticket I got as part of a package for Cool Japan, which includes Evangelion and Attack on Titan and the Harry Potter world, which we also did in Japanese, but was surprisingly not a big deal that it was in Japanese. And the ride was amazing. One of the best rides I've ever been on. It was 3D, but we didn't wear glasses. It had like props that would fly out at you. It seemed pretty unsafe, actually, but I enjoyed it. But the Biohazard ended up not being a ride or an attraction in the traditional sense. It was more... it was actually a real escape from Scrap Entertainment, which a few have made it to America, especially on the West Coast, where it's like a game to get out of. So it was sort of, we were like trapped in a building and zombies are everywhere, and there were like actors as zombies and Resident Evil monsters, and it was really, really fun. But what's funny is they hooked us up with a team, 2 other people, Japanese people, that spoke less English than we spoke Japanese, which is saying a lot. And everybody was very sorry about the whole thing, politely sorry, us to them, them to us. We ended up playing the game, and they were terrible. I was mediocre to terrible, and Q was brilliant. Now, we didn't win, but we did well, and everything we did well was Q. And so at first they're like, you know, kind of follow us, and, you know, we're kind of using translation apps on phones to communicate, and eventually they just started following us around, and they were like genius to her, and she's like, no, yeah, I know. It was great. If you somehow get to Japan, if you somehow go to Universal Studios, and if you don't mind not understanding the words, do Biohazard. It's fantastic. It's the closest thing you get to being in a zombie movie.
So yeah, Bioshock was great. We weren't allowed to keep anything. I took a few pictures, which we also weren't allowed to do. This pad we got luckily had an English option, otherwise we'd be lost. And I ran into this actor on the way out, and he took a picture with me. Yeah, there was a lot of awesome, and it really breaks my heart that I couldn't take pictures of it to share with you. This is some Monster Hunter themed food, and there was a Happy Easter thing, although it wasn't super close to Easter. I wasn't sure what that was. Tea time mate, and in that little cup is that sort of sugar stuff instead of what we have here. This was a bathroom. Luckily, I only had to go number 1, although if I had to go number 2, I wouldn't. This was the 4D Evangelion, which was the other main thing we went to this park for, and this was just sort of warming us up. And then we sat down and watched sort of a immersive movie. It was fine. It wasn't as bad as Attack on Titan, but it wasn't exactly as great as I'd hoped it would be. It's worth doing, but not as immersive as I'd hoped. This is the Space Fantasy ride, which was trippy and crazy, and was a good recommendation. It made me nauseous, but it was worth it. I do get motion sickness relatively easy, so that's not saying too much. I don't know how to describe it. Just go on it if you get a chance. For dinner, what did I have? 3 things: a vegetarian French fries.
I'm a robot toilet. I open motion detected. Usually... Oh yeah, motion detection. Put that other one up, why don't you? Know what? I changed my mind. I'm gonna dookie later. Close them down. Yo.
So just to close out, I'm recording this much later. I'm actually editing. And it's funny because this was the day we went and did all this amazing, crazy stuff. And it's one of the shortest videos, and I have the least amount of footage because we spent a lot of time going on rides, to shows, things where I couldn't take video or pictures even. So I do recommend going there if you have the time. I mean, Universal in general, but also the one in Japan. It was a unique experience. It had things you couldn't do. Even though I was disappointed with the Attack on Titan, it's worth doing. And that's it. It closes out day 6 for Gazbot in Japan. See you next time. Day 7.